Hello, and welcome back to the Coupe de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Aman Pillay, Tommy Lazaridis, and Noah Fisher to review Aston Villa versus Everton. Yep, and after that humiliating defeat last week, it was the same team from Emery, but a completely different performance as we got the chocolates this time, 4-0 to Villa, and all of that's coming up after this. Okay, so yes, we were back at Villa Park for our first home game of the season, and Everton were the visitors, and it was a tough game. It was going to be a pressure game after the defeat to Newcastle. I think a lot of us were wondering how we'd respond and if Emery could get the boys up and going and turn it around, and they completely did. Aman, I'll go to you first. This game was over really within 20 minutes. And we got off to a flying start with the goal by John McGinn, his first goal in almost 2 years, I think, in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think in the Aston Villa fans in Australia chat, a lot of people were slagging off Leon Bailey in that first 10 minutes because he did, to be honest, hit a few misplaced passes coming in from the right inside. But I think, as always, first 10 minutes takes time to get into games. And yeah, Everton are pretty woeful. I think all of us had them to go down in our preseason predictions, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think most important thing was obviously put on a performance after match day one, which we did. Was going to say come away without any injuries, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Probably touch on that a bit later, but always good to get a win. And yeah, I think especially in our group chat, in our Facebook page, Bailey silenced a lot of people after that assist to John McGinn.
No, Bailey was very good all day, Tommy. And yeah, I was a bit surprised going into the game that Emery didn't switch it up a bit, like make some changes. I mean, Pau Torres obviously was the one change for Mings. That was a forced change, but the guys were so good from the start, so much energy. Diaby was picking up these little pockets of space in between the lines. It was really sort of great possession football like the Emery style, but with a real cutting edge.
Yeah, I think this is what we all kind of said last week, right? I said it's about how we retaliate, and I think Emery probably gave everyone a second chance. And it's funny now, right? Goal difference is just a big fat zero, but I think everyone done well. I was probably one of those to slate Bailey, so like they say, make sure you're as quick to apologise as you are to criticise. So sorry, Leon. But speaking of which, I heard there was an altercation between him and a fan. He didn't sign something, and he's pushed the dad. Don't know if it's legit. It could just be Twitter gossip, but there was the meme of Louis Van Gaal saying the fan right now thinking of a payday, where Van Gaal pretends to dive on the sideline. So
Yeah.
it'd be pretty disappointing if that did happen. I thought Bailey was probably one of top three, maybe even a man of the match performance. So yeah, no, like I said, it's exactly how we expected to respond. I don't want to be, negative. I don't want to be the devil's advocate, but I don't think that's a real test of where we're at. I think, the Brighton game will be important. I think Newcastle, Spurs as well will really test where we're at. We beat them. I think we've really solidified ourselves as a top six, top seven presence. If not, then, I think it'll kind of just be, if we can level with last season, that's great. A lot of those teams, inferior teams have started to improve as well. See, like West Ham beating Chelsea, knowing when we play them all of a sudden, they've got all their firepower behind them. So take it for what it is. Like, it's great, but I think, that we've got a tough run of fixtures coming up as well. So I think that'll be a real tough test the next 5 weeks. If we can stay in the top seven after 5 weeks, I think we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Everton are pretty abysmal, Noah, but we Emery got himself a Premier League record, eighth win in a row at home. We've got a couple of away games coming up now, but our next home game is home to Crystal Palace in a few weeks. So great opportunity to break that record and make it nine wins in a row. I think that record goes back to 1990 when I was first getting into the team, back when David Platt was playing and all sorts. So yeah, so I'm just showing my age there, but that was a great sign, and something that I don't remember us having for a long time is this formidable home record.
Oh, 100%, Scott. And obviously, before I touch on the Villa Park Fortress, I just want to say that can we please play Everton in August every season? It just seems like no matter when we play Everton at home or away, we just seem to beat them. And you've been holding the Cooper Cup for quite some time, so hopefully your brother's not too upset that he's
Oh
not
no,
getting that back.
he's very upset. I can let you know. I think he's thinking this is going to be a very long season at Everton. But
Yeah,
but
I think. Sorry, go on. No, go on.
Oh, I was going to say it's the third time in our 4 seasons up or whatever it is we've played Everton in the first 3 games or first 2 games. Like we played them last season at home. We lost the first game against Bournemouth and we beat them at home. We lost to Newcastle. We beat Everton at home. I just love it. I just love playing Everton early in the season.
even Big Wes scored against them.
I know, and that's not saying something. But I will
Yeah.
say another thing. It was so hard seeing Ashley Young in another team's kit. I'm not sure if you're the one that found that quite difficult.
I will say his Villa at heart. He did get the assist for Duran's goal. So
he definitely got the assist. But onto the Villa Park Fortress, I can never remember a time where we have defended home ground like this ever.
Yeah.
Like I just can't remember. Like even in the championship, I remember losing to like QPR and Sheffield Wednesday at home when we were, pushing for playoffs, but never like this. This is incredible. And look, you got to like trust Unai Emery now. Like he's the man. And just the way he speaks after the game, the way you hear him barking instructions on the touchline, like when they had like was it their first shot on target or something, and you just see him getting more upset because we weren't quite playing the ball properly and all that. And he's just such a good figure, and he'll be reviewing those chances they had because to be honest, like Everton could have scored a couple of goals. Like some of our lapses in concentration. Danjuma had a good chance.
Two.
Was it 2? I think he had 2 good chances. Yeah,
he looked pretty lively for them, to be honest. I think he's a great signing. Pretty unfortunate with Calvert-Lewin. I think fractured cheekbone or broken cheekbone.
But I just think it's funny because Danjuma was meant to join Everton last season on loan, and then
he said
no,
no,
I don't want to join you guys. I want to go to Tottenham, and has joined them. But it's going to be a long season for Paul.
He looks like a good player. I think that would have been a good one just to have up our sleeve. I will say one thing, I do feel for the Everton fans. It's a great club. It'd be a shame to see them go down, but I don't see them turning it around.
I think it's in a situation like us, Tommy. Like I think
it reminded me. I was about to say, it reminded me of us.
Yeah,
pre-relegation.
I think it's what's needed. Like I think the club needs to just hit reset. I know it's tough. Like I think Everton's financial situation is a lot worse than what we were, but in some case, like some stages, is it worth just getting battered every week and just staying up?
Well, I think the fact that they're going to the new stadium, they don't want to do that in the championship. That would be a huge loss. I think, and I look at their midfield before the game. I think Decore, Anana, Drisa Gay.
They're not bad.
But, I'm like, that's pretty good midfield. Like on paper, I wouldn't mind any of those.
They've got a good team on paper. They have a good team on paper. There's not.
I think their defense. I think their defense is weak, and I think they don't have a goal scorer. They don't have Calvert-Lewin's always injured. When he is playing, he plays 2 or 3 games and he's out again. Neil Maupay has played 28 games now and hasn't scored for them or something.
He hasn't scored in 390 days or something.
Yeah, so they need a centre forward and they probably need a new manager too. I mean, I've never been a Sean Dyche fan of his style of football, and I think. Yeah, it can maybe keep you up if you're in the bottom 3 with 2 months to go. But I wouldn't be too confident that it's going to take Everton to the next level.
Maybe they think if we just reset, get relegated, maybe Dyche is the guy to bring him back up.
Well, just don't get relegated, I'd say.
Did anyone bet on Dyche? Who predicted Dyche to there you go, man. Looks like you're winning the race so far.
Yeah, I think he's going to be under some huge pressure. But let's get back to Villa, and the second goal came early on.
Ollie getting King hit from Pickford nearly.
He did, and it brought back memories of the Man United Wolves game on Monday night where Onana got away with a very sort of similar incident, and the penalty wasn't given. There was a lot of talk, a lot of controversy about that. Do you think that sort of played into Villa's favour in this decision?
Yes.
I think it did a little bit.
I think it's a Stonewall pen regardless.
Yes.
I think Wolves are absolutely robbed, and I'd be really upset if that wasn't given. Like the VAR check, I'm not sure even what they checked. It took like 5 seconds, it seemed like. Stonewall pen, Watkins gets the ball, takes him out, almost hit him in the face with his swinging arm. It was reckless.
if he connected, Watkins is concussed, and I think possibly on the way to the hospital.
And
I think
Corey gets a red
Watkins
card.
pulls back just to the
That's
last
right.
moment,
does.
sees it coming, and if he doesn't do that, it
But
could
if
have been
Everton
nasty.
fans don't think it's a pen, I'm not sure what they're actually thinking of, because he clearly gets taken out. Not only does he almost get hit in the face, he actually does get taken out by the legs as well. He just runs straight through him. Literally runs straight through him. Stonewall pen. And honestly, I think we found a new penalty taker, Douglas Luiz. Great penalty. I know the commentators, I'm not sure what it was like overseas, but on Optus Sport here, they were saying that, Watkins needs it for confidence. Well, he's not a proven penalty taker for us. He keeps missing penalties when we need him to score them. And Douglas Luiz has been great on set pieces and proved it again.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure it's hurt Ollie's ego a little bit, Aman, being taken off the penalties, and I'm sure he wants to get flying, in the start of the new season. But I agree with Noah. Like he missed 5 out of 9. That's too many, and like he's just got to focus now on scoring the other chances. And who knows if Dougie's injured and he gets back on penalties one day, he can maybe take them up again. But for this time, I think we've got ourselves a new penalty taker, and I'm happy about it.
I think if he takes it and he misses, that's more detrimental to his confidence than him taking one and scoring it.
Yeah.
And he's had his chance. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to put him away. He didn't have the best game yesterday, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, I think that was like the only. I think like for me watching the game, we didn't get out of first gear, which I thought I wasn't happy with throughout the game. But then come the end of the game, to be honest, we won 4-0. Nothing to really be negative about. But I think his performance wasn't the best. Just didn't seem up for it in the 50-50. Michael Keane, dealt with him quite easily, or Michael Caine, however you say his name, dealt with him quite easily. I think there was times as well in the build-up where Digne would get the ball in space, but we just needed Ollie to drop into the pocket, and he didn't even make that movement either, which it would have opened up space for someone to go in behind as well. Just not his day. Last night. Luiz, great penalty. If we get another penalty, he should take it by right. He scored it. So, move on. To be honest, don't really care who takes penalties as long as someone scores.
Yeah, I know. We can't be missing one in every 2, especially when games are tight.
That's it. And I think you're right, Amar. I think Ollie did have a difficult afternoon, even though, we won comfortably the game. I think he made some runs that weren't on. They were sort of not really had the chemistry with the person giving them the ball a couple of times. I think his first touch let him down a couple of times, but I think he'll come good. I think he's just going through a bit of a spell. But yeah, then Tommy, I wanted to speak about probably the only negative thing of the afternoon, which was the injury to Philip Coutinho. For Philip,
pretty sad.
It was very sad. And
second hamstring in about 30 minutes, right?
And he came on and he was doing some Harlem Globetrotter shit for a while there. He was flicking it through people's legs and having shots from distance. And he looked, rejuvenated. He looked like he wanted to, play and get back in the team.
He looked good, started a counter-attack, to be honest. But, maybe I can smell some Saudi money hovering around now.
Possibly.
It's almost just one too many injuries. You got to feel for him. He looked really good. I guess the positive for that was that Archer came on instead of Chambers, who was warming up. So it's good to see Cam out there.
It was.
He didn't really do anything either, though.
I know, right?
He didn't look like he wanted to.
Where's Philogene? What's going on?
I've seen rumours apparently he was going to Hull City.
On loan or permanent?
Apparently a permanent deal, like an Aaron Ramsey situation, which, by the way, hasn't gone through yet, with a buyback clause.
I don't get it. Philogene looks so electric and dangerous for us in pre-season. Just why not give him a sniff?
I read before we started the pod that he's the one that's wanting to move.
Yeah.
More game time. And obviously, we're not going to be able to give it to him, which is fair enough.
Stupid. I'm not saying I almost hope Bailey had a stinker then, because Philogene looked really dangerous and shame, right? I mean, like they said, Liverpool were sniffing around, but he's probably smart. He knows he's not going to be starting there.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a big game against Hibs on Wednesday night. That could be a good time to give him a start, give him 90 minutes and say, all right, show us what you can do.
He's certainly earned it, that's for sure. Played from some pretty top-tier quality in pre-season, and he was up for the challenge. So, Yeah,
And
no,
with
that's a bit of a confusing one. I love Emery, but sometimes he does some weird shit.
And with the injuries to Buendia, now Coutinho, and Leon Bailey came off as well with what
He'll
looked
be
like
fine. He'll
a
be
bit of a
fine.
knock, but yeah, he looks like he wasn't too serious. But with all those, those players being out, yeah, I would keep him for sure, and I would say, look, all right, this is your big opportunity. Hibs away. It's going to be a tough atmosphere. I reckon they're going to be up for it. The home fans, and Scottish football is very much can be like it's championship style football, like hard men, long balls, and lots of duels. So let's see how he goes. But yeah, we'll go on to the third goal now,
Oh, okay.
Noah, and that was it was great to see Bailey get on the score sheet, but it was from an Everton perspective, it was an absolute horrendous bit of defending. They all switched off from the throw in, but good stuff from Villa to see the opportunity.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think they're kind of opportunities that we would miss over previous seasons. Like, we never kind of be switched on like that from a throw in. And like, I just can't understand what Everton were really doing. Like, two players literally just stood still and let Diaby and Bailey just kind of just waltz on past them. And you got to feel for Jordan Pickford, right? Because Jordan Pickford's a pretty good keeper. I know he has small arms and can't touch the crossbar, whatever you want to say about him, but he's still a very good keeper. And when he plays for England, he's outstanding. But honestly, besides the fourth goal to John Duran, I don't think we're going to have an easy opportunity to score this season. Like, it was just ridiculous. But also another thing quickly to touch on was how all the fans from both sides got around the Everton supporter that passed away on the building of the new stadium. I think that was
Yeah.
was pure class from everyone involved. It was such a sad thing. You don't like seeing that at all. I think it was obviously quite recent with the Qatar World Cup. So many people were passing
Yes.
away with the building of those stadiums, and we just wish that gentleman's family all the best. And in the end, really sad times. And it was just great because obviously football's rivalry, whatever you want to say, but it's someone's family, and it's just nice to see everyone get involved.
Yeah, I saw the Liverpool Bournemouth game, and the Liverpool fans did the same tribute to the guy. So yeah, all the best for him and his family. Our thoughts are with them. But yeah, let's go on to among the fourth goal, which first goal for Villa for Colombian Jean Duran, and didn't he look excited and relieved? I think when he put it in, I think he had a few words for someone in the crowd. I think, yeah, maybe I don't know. It was a journalist that had written something, or I don't know, but he was fired up. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I've been like one of the biggest advocates for Duran on this pod because I think he just looks like he's got the physical stature to play Premier League football at such a young age, and I always want him to score, but I don't know, just bittersweet that he scored that type of goal, if it makes sense, because it's just like just handed to him. But
Yeah.
goal's a goal. It's really good. I was wondering the same thing with the celebration as well. Like, who's he staring at? Maybe he was on Hinge in Birmingham and some bird turned him down because he's a bench warmer or something like that. So he's staring at her in the crowd or whatever it is. But I think it's like we spoke about confidence. You score a goal, do his confidence well. Heard him one of the podcasts I listened to afterwards. Can't remember which one. Do you start him against Hibs instead of Ollie, or do you start him with Ollie? I think it's good that he's fit because we're getting all these injuries and stuff like that, and we need to make sure we have people, whether they're starting or whether they're on the bench, that have confidence, that have momentum. So good on him, and hopefully he can pop up with a few more as well. Because I think, to be honest, I think like he can be an X factor. He's truly an unknown, plays on the edge, and I think he'll do well for us.
People are saying he's very reminiscent of Benteke, similar sort of styles, extremely clinical, big build, looks super athletic. Can he sustain a full 90? I guess that'll be the test. But it's interesting. I think also not only does it provide options now that if he's fully fit, but also provides a stick up Ollie's ass, which he needed. And I think the general consensus in the Villa Australia chat was he's done more in 15 minutes than Ollie did the rest of the game.
I will say I wasn't for him coming on though, was I? I think I put a message 10 seconds after
you
he
said,
came on
why
the
is
pitch
Duran coming on? It should be
over
Archer.
And then
I said, just delete. I said, no, I'll delete this now.
Because as soon as I said it, I looked up and I see Duran running an own goal. I go, you got to be kidding me.
Well, I think that was one of the good things about actually winning the game so early on is that we could bring these guys on with the game in midweek, and give them a few minutes, and hopefully they can get a few more minutes in midweek as well.
I thought Carlos looked extremely well when he came on.
So good.
He just outmuscled one of them. It was a bit of a big guy as well, so an absolute colossus.
That was Neil Mope. He just stood in front of him.
As you should as the centre back, right? Just no nonsense BS. So I think that gave Konsa confidence. So maybe shutting up shop.
Konsa looked really good yesterday.
I think everyone's got tape to review. Everyone had a lot of learnings, individual, collective from Newcastle, and it looks like we put those into place.
And Pal Torres as well.
Stole it out of my mouth, Scott.
Sorry.
I said an absolute Rolls Royce. I think he does lack that aggression that Mings probably has, and we've all questioned his aerial presence, but an absolute Rolls Royce. He's looking straight into the midfield. He can ping a pass. Positioning was great. I do think he got exposed once by Dan Juma around the back. Now that would have been a bit different. So I think that'll be one thing Emery, focuses on. But yeah, I think bringing Carlos on just shut up shop. Also wanted maybe just give full credit to Martinez, those two incredible saves. They could have easily been back in the game, right? You 3-1 and 3-2, then all of a sudden it's game on, and we know what would have happened if this was probably any other manager. So good for Emery to recognise that, bring it to light. Tielemans I actually thought was quite quiet as well. He
didn't have much to do though.
That's right. Just clean up, do what you need to do. I'd love to see if he was playing further advanced.
I'm excited to see him on during the week against him.
And I mean, I know he didn't get anything on the stat sheet, but my God, Diaby looks dangerous. Just 2 touches, and he's gained 10 meters in 2 touches, and that ball to Ollie. You got to put that away, Ollie, man. Like, he can win all he wants. That's why I said we need a forward where if they're in that position, 80% chance they're going to score. Anyone with half a brain would be lobbing Pickford. The guy's short as shit.
Oh yeah, the one where
he's just
put it wide. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't far away, but yeah, he should be getting that on target.
Especially now that he didn't have the pen, right? You should be like, well, now I've got to work harder for my goals. They're not going to come to me on a plate anymore. And I think that speaks volumes. When your best penalty taker is a midfielder, I'd be offended if I'm a striker, to be honest, or a forward, Scott. I get paid to put the ball in the net, and yet I'm not the guy that they're putting the trust in.
Yeah, try taking a penalty off, I don't know, Harry Kane or, something like that. That's no chance. But, let's talk a bit more about the Diaby volley, because the volley, but the passage of play that led up to that was absolutely scintillating football. It went through Bailey, Diaby, and Luca Digne, who I thought was man of the match in my opinion. And it was an absolutely rasping volley, and he was so unlucky. I think maybe any other keeper in the league wouldn't have saved that. It was like Pickford. I know he pulls these saves out from time to time, like these absolutely incredible saves. But yeah, it was such a good move, and just really unlucky not to finish.
Honestly, one of the best passages of play I've seen from Villa, like just cleanliness, like the way we were passing the ball, link ups, everything. It just looked like a game of FIFA, to be honest. Like it just absolutely dominating, like just the way we were playing. And the commentators said like a minute before 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. You really want to add a third. I swear the players must have heard that and just gone bang, bang, bang. And if that had gone in, the roof that is on all the stands, the little roof, would have just gone flying off Villa Park.
You'd be 2 for 2 as well with doing it, right?
Oh, he's just he is some player, worth all the money. I would have paid double. But what I've seen in 2 games, I would have paid double.
He had a few other moments where he was like slightly offside, or the ball didn't get to him, like they didn't play him through. But he picks up so many really intelligent areas.
Yeah. His eyes, Scott. His eyes. I noticed before he gave Ollie the ball just away, his eyes scan while he's moving with the ball. That's not easy to do, right? So I said that he's got a
smart.
Good brain on him.
He's
got a good brain. He can whip a ball in. We all know that, but he's got a good brain on him, Scott. Usually you're fast and a bit dumb. I'm not referencing Gabby, but it is what it is. But this guy's gifted in a lot of areas.
And Joel, I'd love to see though is how he got around Leon Bailey, a former teammate that I guess he kind of stole his spot off, and they're back playing in the same Villa side at the moment. I think it's working. Like I know Leon Bailey's hit and miss, and I could be saying after the Burnley game in a week, saying, "Oh, Bailey should never play again." Like people do, he's hot and cold, but just the way they embrace each other. I think it's a nice little bromance.
Diaby's a
going
team
there.
player. Not once
He
did he
is.
get pissy where the ball didn't come to him. I think he missed another chance in the box, right? There was a good little passage of play.
And this is a guy that was offered big Saudi money, and he
Yeah.
chose us. So he believes in the project that Emery's obviously put in front of him. He believes in the club that we're going in the right direction, and we have the
Wow.
ability to win trophies and and qualify and be a European force. So yeah,
He believes in football, Scott, as well. It's not about
Yeah.
money. He believes in football, and the Prem's the best league. Why would you turn that down for money? I mean, I get it, financial circumstance, support your family, generational wealth, but I think he's still yet to enter his prime. And what a player! I still we haven't even touched on Zaniolo. I think he would have loved it from the sidelines. To be honest, we've been licking his
He looked
lips.
like when they went to him in the players' lunch lounge, and everything.
He was smiling.
He was smiling and absolutely loving it. And I think he will play on Thursday. I think he will absolutely tear it up for us. He's going to be insane. Now,
He will be.
the commentator said it's an obligation to buy. I thought it was just an option, but if it's an obligation, that's awesome. So he's
No, it's an obligation.
Anyway.
If he plays X amount of games, like we have to sign him. Yeah. But I'm like you. I think that's great. I loved him at Roma. And tell you what, if you think that Diaby and Bailey and these guys are fast, he's as fast as them.
And did you see when he entered Villa Park, he shook hands with Martinez? We're talking like there's maybe an inch, if that, difference between them. He's a big unit, a very big unit. Also see that almost all Zaniolo related posters are just flooded with Turkish Galatasaray fans.
All right, okay.
Yeah, like you should take this other guy, Burak, whatever. Everyone it's the same comment. I don't know if it's a bot.
It was a really weird video when they announced him because he was holding the Ireland flag. Did you see this? Not the Italian flag. And they're like, "Oh, it's orange instead of red." Oh, no one will notice. Just keep rolling. And there's all these people in the comments like, "What's the Ireland flag doing in his hand?" Like, I don't get it. But
he must have been. I'd be offended if I was him. Like, you can't even get my country's flag right.
I know. I was like,
absolutely
surely they're not going to put that out. But no, it is out.
It just didn't get to the editing stage where they meant to edit the red on, but it's so funny.
Ireland International.
So it's
Nicholas Zanolo.
Yeah, Mick Zanolo. Oh my God, from Cork. No, but I think he's going to be great. He can play in any of those front four positions. He can play striker. He can play number 10 on the right, on the left. And I think we have so many options right now, and so many systems we can trial and test.
And it seems like obviously we're still going to get Acuna in. That seems like it's almost a done deal from what I've been reading on Twitter.
Agree.
Or X, whatever it's called these days.
And does that mean that Digne's off?
I've heard he's going to Nice with a loan with an option to buy. Yeah. So
okay. I heard he was going to go meet up with Steven Gerrard in Saudi Arabia.
I don't think you can think of anything worse, to be honest. I think didn't.
Well, Gerrard brought him here, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
Villa, so I don't know, but I wouldn't really want to lose anyone right now. I think yes, we do have better cover than we did, but there's a few guys that are injury prone, and there's a few guys who are injured. So we've still got Coutinho out, we've got Jacob Ramsey out, we've got Moreno out. Moreno.
I forget about Ramsey yet to come back in.
I know.
How scary is that? Dendoncker, I know, like we probably replaced him at the moment, but he still played really well when he came on for us, especially in the Emery era. And he's out as well. Moreno, like Coutinho obviously goes on the list. It's crazy. I think they said we got 7 first-team players out or something.
Is Tim Aroganbaum on loan?
No,
he's injured as well.
Okay, another good one, right? I still feel like the youth should be getting a bit more of a run than we see.
Way for Europe and the Cups, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
we have a lot of football to play.
But I think these Hibs games, we might see more of a first-team squad just because we want to get in to the competition. We want to make sure we're in that group stage. And, Hibs, it's a kind of local rivalry in some ways, like England versus Scotland's never easy.
I've said I bet McGinn's be licking his lips that he got through injury free, and I think his phone's going off for some tickets from his home fans. So
I think his brother still plays for Hibs. I think.
Really?
I think one of them does. I think there's 3 brothers, and one of them still plays for Hibs.
What, seniors?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's Paul McGinn.
There's
Okay.
fair
I'll
few
research
Aussies,
it.
fair few Aussies as well. Lewis Miller, Jimmy Jago, Martin Boyle.
Yeah.
I think
James
maybe
Jacko's there.
Jimmy Jago's there,
No way.
and Jimmy Jago, Lewis Miller from Central Coast,
Uh,
and Martin Boyle as
he
well.
Lewis
was.
Miller or Matt Miller?
Lewis Miller.
Ah, Lewis Miller.
Interesting.
Speaking
So
of Lewis, what about Louis Barry, mate? Scored the winner on the weekend.
He did.
he did, and I watched also Plymouth versus Southampton, and saw a bit of Kessler Hayden for Plymouth. He played quite well. They went down the last minute, but no, he's another one that I'm thinking. Well, we've only got one real right back at the club
It's
right
weird,
now.
isn't it? It's really
Um,
weird.
Yeah, I mean, I know Concert can play there, Chambers can play there, if needed, but I don't know. Well, we were very impressed with Kessler Hayden when he was here in Australia just over a year ago for the preseason tour of last year. But we haven't really seen a lot of him, so I don't know. Hopefully, some of the other guys like Cameron Archer and Philogene get a chance.
Calamian apparently looks pretty exciting too. He's pinging him in for free in the under 20s, 21s, whatever it is.
Yeah, so there's plenty of talent there. I just also want to touch on the Women's World Cup. So
Yes.
it's obviously wrapped up in Australia. Rachel Daly, unfortunately, not the result she wanted in the World Cup final. England losing to Spain, but so many good performances and such a great tournament for us Aussies. The Matildas, Australia getting to the semi-finals as well. Amman sporting the Matildas there. It was really good. And it's just the interest in football around the local media and, a lot of kids signing up to play football, this sort of thing, girls, boys. So, yeah, it's been really positive for football in this country. We have to really sort of work hard to get any kind of coverage, on the front pages, especially for like the local game here. So, to have games in this country that were making such an impact worldwide is just really positive, and I've really enjoyed the quality of the games as well. So, really, what did you guys think of the Women's World Cup?
Amazing. One word to sum it up. Amazing. I've never really seen, especially in Australia, a whole nation get behind a team. Except for the Western Bulldogs in 2016 AFL Grand Final. That's another story. But yeah, just incredible.
Absolutely. I think it was like 11 million watched the semi-final against England, and we're only a country of like 26 million. So yeah that's 43% or something I heard of the country was watching that game. So for a country where we've got AFL, rugby, cricket that are probably bigger sports than football. It just shows that we are truly the world game, and when it comes down to the real crunch moments in World Cups, there is the interest there.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I would like to see from this is, we talk about equal pay and women's football getting bigger. I said I'd love to see what this transpires to now down to local leagues.
Yeah.
Are they going to get that kind of support, or is it just a bunch of bandwagoners watching the Matildas after a couple YouTube videos, right?
That's it.
So I'd love to see what happens after it. Let's give it 6 months, and then I hope it all takes off, right? But otherwise, it's just back to BAU.
I'd like to see us make a big push for the Men's World Cup as well. I mean,
2034, I think.
Yeah, they've seen us. We've got the stadiums, we filled them. So yeah,
I think they are going to bid. But it will be a four-country bid because it's impossible for us to host a 48-team World Cup now.
Yeah, and apparently, although we have the MCG, for example, we'd have to have the World Cup in June, and the FIFA need to have complete control of venues for the 4 or 5 week period, whatever it's going to be. And what we're going to say, no AFL games at the MCG, which is obviously Australia's number one sport.
Well, I think that's where whoever it is in charge, right, might have to make some big calls.
They might just have to play in Marvel for a couple of weeks.
That's right. It's a money maker, and it's an honor for any country to host it. One thing I would say is the royal family, pull your finger out, right? What's this family holiday shit? You've got the Queen of Spain and her daughter coming down, the princess, and they handed them the trophy, and they actually got in the photos with them. What an absolute honour. So full credit to the Spanish royal family. UK, piss poor. They're on a family holiday. Also, isn't Prince William is part of like his women's federation, whatever it is. He's head of it, isn't he?
He is. He was too busy watching the Villa last night.
Oh, that's fair enough. All right, fair enough. Not gonna lie.
But yeah, we better wrap it up there because we've been going on. But we were going to get some predictions just before we leave. We'll get 2 rounds of predictions for Hibs on Wednesday night away, and also Burnley away on the weekend. So I'll start with you, Noah.
I'm going to go a 2-1 win for Hibs. I'm going to go a 3-1 win for Burnley.
No.
I'm guessing you mean
so we're losing both games?
No. So like in those fixtures, so we're going to win. We're going to win both those games. So for the Hibs game, we're going to win 3-1. 3-1. Did I say or 2-1? 2-1. And Burnley, we're going to win 3-1. Sorry, I can make that clear.
Aman?
Yeah, first leg against Hibs, I think 2-0 away from home. I think we'll put in a strong team just so we get it done in that first leg, and then second leg we can kind of relax a little bit. So yeah, let's go 2-0 against Hibs, and then against Burnley. Is it at Villa Park or is it at Turf Moor?
It's a Turf Moor.
Turf Moor, yeah.
Oh, let's go 1-0 win at Turf Moor.
I'm going to go 3-0 both. I think Hibs is a statement game. Us playing in Europe, we've got a strong, we've got a lot of squad depth. Even if we mix and match, we'll still field a good lineup, and I think Burnley will just be continuing off the Everton form. So, like I said, the big teams will be where we test ourselves, but I think now we're gonna, put these smaller teams away. I think 3-0 both comfortable wins.
Okay, and I will say 4-0 against Hibs for Villa. Nice. I think we're going to go there and absolutely stuff them in the first leg, just like Aman said. But I'm going to say 1-1 for Burnley. I'm going to say, maybe the Thursday, Sunday or the Wednesday, Sunday might catch up was a little bit there, but might still be, a good point.
I think we've got too deep of a squad, Scott, for fatigue to be a factor now. I think
too early as well.
I think we might even like with Europe. Is it unlimited subs? Is it still limited to 5?
5,
I think it's 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there'll be a blend, and then I think we'll just unload, the bench in the second half if it's a 2-0 lead. Probably shut up shop. I know what Emery's like as well.
Well, I just Noah's now collecting all our predictions. So I'm going to go with my head a bit more than my heart with these predictions.
I will say
last week, Noah.
I will say it's for the end of the season, but there has been, out of both results, one person get the correct scoreline.
Was it me?
Person. As I said, end of season.
No, I know. I picked the Everton 1-4-0.
There's one person.
I don't think
it might have been you then.
It was Tommy got the first score prediction. It was 4-0. I couldn't believe it. I was watching it back just to double check, and he goes 4-0. Just like so Tommy style. So
am I leading the prediction race?
You're currently winning.
You get more points for a correct score.
I'm giving 4 points if you get the correct score, 3 points if you get the right result. So at the moment, Aman, you're in last. I'm sorry to tell you haven't got the right result yet. You've went for 2 draws.
I don't think anyone picked Newcastle lost. So
no, Scott and I are tied because we went for a 2-1 win and we won anyway, so we get the 3 points.
And that should be 2 points, mate. I feel like you should get a bit more love for getting it right.
You get 4 points for getting it right.
Well, I get 1 extra point.
Yes, because you get 1 extra point.
That's piss week, mate.
All right,
I'm kidding.
Exactly. You're winning. Do you want me to take points off you or not?
I know what happens in these Coupe de Villa quizzes, though. I start so well, then I burn off. Wait till my Sunderland 6-1 prediction comes in if we draw them in a cup game.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yep.
Wow. Well, there you go. I had a feeling no one else throws big numbers out there except me. But
it works.
No.
Hopefully you're right again with your predictions this week, Tommy, because that'll
wait. Do is this for all? Is this for all games now, or just Prem specific?
All games, mate. All games.
Beautiful.
All games. All right. So that's it for this week on Coupe de Villa.
Excellent.
Thanks again for all your support. You guys have been so good the last few weeks. It's been really exciting. We've got a big season coming up and a huge game on Wednesday night. So join us. We will be doing a video after the Hibs game. So hit the bell, hit the notifications, and we will let you know every time we drop a video. And please like us and follow us over on Spotify. I know that Adam Amar, what's his name?
Muhammad
Adam.
Muhammad Adam.
Don't use mysterious aliases either, Muhammad. We know who you are. Put your real name.
I know he went and gave us a little follow over there.
And
so
on
thanks
Instagram as
for
well, I believe. He on the Instagram.
Thanks, Muhammad.
And all the socials.
We'll send Muhammad a personal ad. I think he's part of the family.
that.
Muhammad, are we going to get him to
sticker.
join? Are we going to draw some Scandinavian mob where maybe he can talk a bit about him?
That would be great.
Oslo FC or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, Rosenborg or someone like that.
Soldier Michelin or whatever. What is he, Danish?
Michelin, yeah.
Mulder, is that the one that? But that's who Haaland used to play for, I think.
And that's where Ibra started.
Nice. All right, well, yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, and we will see you after the Hibs game. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
See you then. Woo.